Hello and welcome. Today I'm adding Jane Austen's 8-bit adventure to my ever-growing list where I rank every Evercade game ever. Jane Austen's 8-bit adventure is a NES platformer based upon the adventures of Jane Austen. You know, the adventures you never knew she had because, the NES may be old, but it ain't that old. The game can be found on the Indie Heroes Collection 4 on the Evercade. It was developed by a dude who wanted to make a game that appealed to his wife because she liked Jane Austen and not computer games or something. The premise is daft as you'd expect given the title. Jane Austen herself has been sucked into an 8-bit world where characters from her novels have stolen the pages they dislike and scattered them across the various levels themed around her books. So she's got to climb into the worlds of her books, defeat the boss, steal the pages back and restore it.
Gameplay.
It's a platform game, a fairly straightforward one in many ways. The enemy movements are fairly basic, nothing too complex. Jane can jump and she has a number of attacks at her disposal, which she gets throughout the game. Pickups come in the form of hearts and teacups, the teacups being the units you use to power your special attacks, including throwing your quill. Jane attacks with a quill because the pen is mightier than the sword. Anyway, she later gets the ability to run, and an air dash, and a ground strike, and a Hadouken style fireball, and so on and so forth. All in all, I guess I would best describe the gameplay as somewhere between Mario and Castlevania. The controls are tight and responsive enough, and the variety of moves you get via progression keep things interesting. Finding the pages throughout the various levels takes a little bit of exploration, as while I wouldn't call it a Metroidvania, it's definitely a little bit non-linear.
Graphics.
As you can tell by what's on screen, the game looks okay. It's certainly not among the best looking games for the NES, but everything is clean, easy to read, mostly. There are some platforms that you wouldn't necessarily think you could jump on, but it's a pretty minor thing. But while it looks nice enough, there's not really much in the way of artistic flair to it. It all looks, I suppose, pedestrian and functional overall, but it does play with the themes quite well.
Sound and music.
The sound effects are functional. They're not particularly special or stand out in any way, but they have got the right cues for the actions and activities that are going on. The music is, well, it's okay, it's there, it provides a background and much of it suits the feel of the game, with some fairly familiar sounding tunes. But in many ways it sounds very much like a typical NES indie game. So that is to say that the soundtrack and the sound in general does the job, but it's not a standout feature.
Overall opinion.
Jane Austen's 8-bit adventure has a unique concept. It's part sincere homage and part parody. The mechanics are solid, the ability progression adds depth without overdoing it, and for an aftermarket NES game, there's a reasonable sized adventure here. And overall it is a pretty decent game, but it's rarely the most compelling of adventures, and that seems fitting. I would say it's worth a playthrough, but maybe just the once. It's not one I've felt any compulsion to come back to since I finished it, aside from getting footage like for this video.
Ranking.
Placing Jane Austen's 8-bit adventure on my ever-growing list where I rank every Evercade game ever, I've elected to put it above Sengoku 2, but below Grid Runner version A, placing it at 262 out of 490 games that I've ranked so far. Anyway, that wraps it up for this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
You